I knew something was wrong the moment I saw the helicopter slicing through the clouds like a blade made of silver and thunder. Its roar swallowed the music, the chatter, the fake laughter bubbling across the high school football field we'd rented for our 10-year reunion. The wind whipped through dresses and suits, tossing hair and napkins and egos into chaos. People stepped back, shielding their faces, squinting upward with confusion, then curiosity, then fear. But my stomach didn't twist because of the helicopter. It twisted because of her. Madison Cross. The girl we voted most likely to die alone. The girl people tripped in hallways for fun. The girl whose mother worked as a janitor, whose shoes never matched, whose lunch always smelled different, and for that, she carried 4 years of cruelty on her back. And the girl my best friend, and now girlfriend, Emma suggested we invite for entertainment. Not in those exact words, of course. Emma never said anything cruel outright. She just smiled that perfect, polished smile and said, "Come on, Noah. It'll be funny." She probably won't even show. But she did. She showed, and not the way any of us expected. The helicopter landed with a thundering final gust, and from the cabin door stepped a woman no one recognized at first. But I did. I felt it in my bones. Madison emerged in a black-fitted jumpsuit that looked tailored by gods, her hair swept into a sleek cascade that gleamed under the stadium lights. She moved like someone who had been sculpted from confidence itself, each step slow, deliberate, devastating. An assistant rushed out behind her, fixing a necklace around her throat. Another opened a black umbrella to shield her from the dust still swirling. I heard someone whisper behind me, "No way. Is that Madison? Madison, Madison." Another voice, this one dripping with panic. What the hell happened to her? Emma stiffened beside me. Her smile faltered for the first time since we arrived. That's when the first ripple of guilt cracked through my chest. We weren't good people back then. Some of us tried to be. Some of us pretended. Some of us failed. Madison looked straight ahead, until her eyes landed on me. A flicker. Recognition. Something like sadness, or maybe disappointment, passed over her face before the expression vanished into a cool, unreadable calm. And that was when the memories hit. The library hallway. Her sobbing softly while I pretended not to notice. Emma laughing as she pushed a stack of papers from Madison's hands. And me, standing there, frozen, not stopping it. Not helping. Not defending. Just silent. Silence can wound deeper than words. The present swallowed the memory when Madison stepped onto the reunion's red carpet entry, something Emma insisted on to add glamour, though clearly it wasn't us who brought the glamour now. Phones rose. Gasps multiplied. The wind hadn't stopped shaking me. But it wasn't the helicopter. It was the betrayal I hadn't discovered yet, coiled just beneath the surface, waiting to strike. "Holy hell," whispered Jason, one of our old teammates. "I thought she was, like, homeless or something." Emma shot him a warning glare, then plastered on her hosting smile and marched forward. I followed, my chest tight with a pressure I couldn't name yet. Her heels clicked with authority. "Madison. Oh my God, you look, wow. What a surprise to see you here." Every word sounded sprayed in cheap perfume, sweet, cloying, fake. Madison smiled politely, but the edges were sharp. "Emma. Noah. Good to see you both." Her voice was low, steady, refined, the kind that made everyone subtly straighten their posture. Emma leaned in for a hug. Madison didn't move. Emma's arms froze mid-air before she awkwardly withdrew. My throat tightened. Something about the coldness in Madison's posture felt aimed at me too, but different. Deeper. As if she knew something I didn't. Or something I forgot. Before I could speak, Madison's assistant stepped forward with a tablet. "Ms. Cross, the speaking schedule has been confirmed. You're up second, right after the dean's welcome." Emma's jaw slackened. "You're speaking?" she asked, voice cracking just slightly. Madison tilted her head. "Didn't you check your email? I'm tonight's keynote guest." "No," Emma whispered. "That can't be right. We didn't, I mean." But Madison was already walking past her, toward the canopy bar. And that's when something else happened, Something that hit me harder than the helicopter, harder than the stairs, harder than the storm of guilt brewing inside me. A man approached Madison, placing a gentle hand on her lower back. Tall, sharp suit, warm smile reserved only for her. "Everything okay?" he asked softly. She nodded. "Perfect." He leaned in to whisper something in her ear, and she laughed, an unrestrained, joyful sound I had never heard from her in high school. Something twisted inside me. Jealousy, regret, recognition. I couldn't tell. But I knew that laugh didn't belong to the same girl I once ignored in a hallway. Someone else had earned it. Someone who wasn't me. The party resumed, nervous chatter fluttering like moths around a flame, but something had shifted. People watched Madison from afar, pretending not to stare, pretending she wasn't the gravitational center of the entire evening. Emma clamped her hand around my wrist, nails digging in. "We need to talk," she said sharply. I followed her toward the back of the field, near the dim bleachers untouched by the lights. My steps felt heavy, like the ground resisted every movement. She turned to me, eyes blazing. "Why is she here like that? Why didn't you say anything?" "She didn't tell me she was taking a helicopter," I muttered. "That's not what I mean, Noah." "She looked at you like," Emma's breath hitched. "Like there's something between you two." My pulse stuttered. "There's nothing," I said quickly. But the truth was more complicated. Because deep down, there had been something. Not romance. Not friendship. Not even forgiveness. Something unspoken. Something unfinished. Something I didn't have the courage to confront back then. And now it pulsed between us like a ghost made of regret. Emma watched my face, reading every flinch. "What aren't you telling me?" she demanded. I opened my mouth. But before a word escaped, Madison's laughter echoed again across the field. Warm. Effortless. Free. It cut through Emma's voice. It cut through my breath. And it cut through something else, something more fragile than either of us realized. Trust. Emma's gaze snapped toward the sound, then back at me, suspicion blooming like poison. "Noah," she whispered, "did something happen between you and her?" I swallowed hard. The past suddenly felt like a trap closing around me. And for the first time tonight, I wondered, was the betrayal really 10 years old? Or was it happening right now? I couldn't answer. My tongue felt heavy, as if the words would burn if I spoke them. Emma's eyes, once warm and familiar, were now hard, searching, accusing. The laughter from Madison and her mysterious companion cut through the night air again. Every note of it felt like a blade twisting in my chest. I had to see. I needed to know. I slipped through the crowd, moving toward the bar where Madison had stationed herself. She was talking to a man I didn't recognize, someone powerful, confident, his presence almost predatory, yet protective of her. They leaned in close, heads brushing, sharing a secret I wasn't meant to hear. A wave of nausea hit me as I watched Madison laugh again, leaning into him. The way her hand grazed his arm, it wasn't casual. Not the way friends touched each other. Not the way old classmates reunited. It was intimate, a spark of connection I couldn't compete with. And suddenly, I understood. It wasn't me she had needed back then. And maybe she hadn't needed me at all. My thoughts scrambled. Why did I ever think there could be a second chance? Noah. Emma's voice broke through my spiral. I turned to see her standing at the edge of the lights, her arms crossed, every ounce of composure replaced by tension. Her gaze shifted from me to Madison and back again, suspicion etched in every line of her face. "Emma, it's not what you think," I tried to say. But even I knew it was too late. Her laugh, bitter, sharp, tearing, cut across the space between us. "Not what I think. Really. Because all I see is you staring at her like a man who's just realized he missed something years ago. Or worse, like you still want it." "No," I said, louder this time. "It's not like that. She's someone else now. Someone I don't even know." But Emma didn't believe me. She never did. Her hand shook as she reached for my arm. "Noah, tell me the truth. Did anything ever happen?" I swallowed hard. The answer was simple, brutal, and messy. Nothing happened. Nothing physical. But the betrayal wasn't about sex or kisses. It was about years of silence, of standing by, of failing her when she needed me most. My guilt was the kind that ages in your chest, twisting your bones, feeding off your mistakes. And yet, even now, standing here, watching her own private world unfold with someone else, I felt like a betrayer. Before I could respond, Madison's laughter rang out again, this time louder, accompanied by a sudden cheer from the crowd. I turned instinctively and saw her standing on the platform, raising a glass. She had the air of someone claiming victory, not over us, the bullies, but over the past itself. Over the girl we had tried to humiliate, over the pain we caused her, over every sneer and whisper. The helicopter had been a statement. Her entrance, a declaration. But what I didn't see at first, and what hit me with staggering force, was the man standing beside her. Not just any man. It was him. Alex Monroe. Alex Monroe, my colleague. The man Emma had trusted, the one who had charmed her on business trips, the one who had been just a friend. Madison and Alex clinked glasses, their heads close together. The intimacy was undeniable. They smiled at each other with a familiarity that froze me. And then, as if sensing my presence, Madison's eyes met mine across the crowd. I don't know why she smirked, but the look cut deeper than a knife. There was triumph in it, but also something else. Something I couldn't read, something that left me both terrified and mesmerized. Emma noticed it too. Her face drained of color as realization hit her, and she whispered a single word, trembling. Alex. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. Betrayal unfolded before me in layers I hadn't anticipated. Emma, the person I had trusted with my heart, was about to confront infidelity so blatant, so explosive, that the ground beneath her seemed to disappear. And yet, Madison, the girl we had tormented, the class loser, stood taller than any of us ever had. She wasn't the victim anymore. She was the storm. Emma's voice cracked as she demanded, Alex, what the hell is going on? Alex's confident facade faltered for the first time. He glanced at Madison, then back at Emma, then finally sighed. Emma, it's not what you think. But Madison interrupted, her voice cutting through like glass. No, Emma. It is exactly what you think. Time slowed. Every heart in the crowd seemed to pause. Madison's words were precise, deliberate, cold, and they dripped truth. Alex and I have been together for 3 years. Your little reunion plan didn't just bring me back, it exposed the man you've been sleeping with behind your husband's back. Silence fell, thick and suffocating. Emma's hand flew to her mouth, her eyes wide in shock. Her perfect composure shattered into disbelief and guilt, the betrayal she had carried in secret laid bare. My knees buckled slightly. Not for myself. Not for Emma. For the layers of lies, deception, and human frailty that surrounded me now. Madison's gaze swept across the stunned crowd. Then she locked eyes with me. No malice. No revenge. Just clarity. You wanted to see me humiliated, she said softly. But the only humiliation here is for the ones who betrayed trust, who pretended to be what they weren't. And now everyone sees it. Emma stumbled back, tears flowing freely now. Alex's face was pale, guilt written in every line. The reunion had transformed into a reckoning. And me. I felt a strange sense of peace amidst the chaos. Madison had survived. Thrived, even. And though I had failed her years ago, witnessing this, a raw, undeniable exposure of truth, felt like a small, almost imperceptible form of redemption. I stepped forward, gently, into the quiet storm. Madison's eyes met mine one last time, and there was a flicker of recognition, maybe even forgiveness. Or maybe it was understanding, something deeper than vengeance, more powerful than pain. I didn't ruin your life, I whispered, more to myself than to her. You've survived. You're amazing. She nodded once, coolly, then turned back to the crowd, to the platform, to the helicopter waiting. She raised her hand in a small wave, an acknowledgement of victory, independence, and liberation. Emma's sobs were the only sound after that, mingled with Alex's murmured apologies. But the message was clear. The past had come to life tonight, but it had been Madison, not the bullies, not the cheaters, not the silent betrayers who commanded the stage. The helicopter blade spun once, twice, and then lifted her into the sky. She disappeared above the clouds, leaving a stunned crowd, shattered hearts, and one final truth behind. Some betrayals don't just wound, they transform. And some victories, long overdue, leave everyone else in awe.